Last night around 9:45 hours in the evening, officers responded to a traffic accident in the 2600 block of South Oliver. What we've learned so far is there was two individuals, a 34-year-old female and a 39-year-old male who were riding bicycles on Oliver northbound in the curb lane when a 2000 Dodge pickup truck driven by a 35-year-old male with a 27-year-old passenger were also driving northbound in the curb lane. The truck struck the 34-year-old female. The injuries that she received were life-threatening. She was actually pronounced at the scene at 21:55 hours. The other individual, the 29-year-old male that was also on the bicycle, was not injured. We had a witness that was driving behind the 2000 Dodge truck that observed the accident, followed the suspect and was able to provide 911 with the phone number. We were able to locate that vehicle in the area of Pawnee and Oliver at a business in that area. It appears that the suspect that was driving the vehicle that caused the accident parked the vehicle in a business, then got into his personal vehicle, which we were able to obtain some information on the driver from the owner of the business of that vehicle. He was very cooperative, led us to a location in the 1900 block of South Main, where we located the suspect driving up to his residence in a 1999 GMC SUV vehicle. That individual was taken into custody. The passenger in that vehicle was also transported downtown along with the witness, a couple witnesses that observed the accident. We eventually last night booked the 35-year-old male for involuntary manslaughter while driving intoxicated and also leaving the scene of a fatal collision. At this time, of course, the investigation is still ongoing, but we do have one individual in custody for the traffic fatality last night. I'm not going to release the name of the victim this morning at the request of the family until all the family has been notified. Hopefully we can do that later on this afternoon.
You say the suspect that was arrested is 35?
That's correct.
Do we know where these folks were coming from and where they were headed?
No, we don't at this time.
So he's employed by the company that the business vehicle belongs to?
It was a company truck that he was in, and he was employed by that business.
Were the bicyclists, were they riding side by side in that curb lane?
We believe that the female victim was probably behind the male, the other male that was on the bicycle. It appears that she was struck from behind by the truck.
What were the weather conditions at the time?
It was actually a little misty, foggy a little bit last night, and it was getting a little bit colder last night. The roads were not slick. I was out there and the roads were damp but not icy.
Were the bikes fitted with corrective reflective gear?
Yeah, and we're still trying to determine that due to the impact on the bicycle. We have to go back and kind of piece that back together to see what kind of reflective gear or any kind of headlights or anything like that was on the bicycle. So we're not absolutely sure right now. We'll do that probably today and tomorrow. Do some work on search warrants for the vehicles and stuff like that, and look at the bicycles in that aspect.
Are riders required to wear reflective coats and stuff, when they're out and about?
I think currently they're required to have headlights at night on their bicycle or some type of reflective lights on their bicycle. I'm not absolutely 100% positive on the reflective gear as far as a vest or anything. But I think we have someone here that might be able to talk a little bit about that.
You said a witness called 911 and gave them a phone number. Did you mean a tag number on that?
Did I say phone number?
I think so.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, we actually had there was a female driver behind was behind at the point of impact that observed the impact, actually followed the suspect vehicle and was able to provide 911 with the tag number of that vehicle. And actually, I think she observed it where it was going to. She provided 911 with that tag number, which led us to the business. The officers, once at the business, were able to contact the owner of that business to determine who was supposed to be driving that vehicle that last night, which led us to the address on 1900 South Main.
I know police say always be a good witness, don't get involved. Was this a case where this woman did what she should do?
Hey, this is what we look for. This is what we want. This is what we ask for. This lady did an awesome job of doing what she should have. She didn't get into a chase with this car. She just was able to get us the information, provide it to 911, and stayed there so we could talk to her. I can't thank her enough for what she did.
What was the business and
I know it was a tree trimming business in the area.
You know what bar these two people were at prior to the collision?
I do not at this time.
Not customary for the man to be returning a work truck at that time of night?
I believe it was his birthday, and they were out celebrating his birthday. We have Scott here to talk about bicycle safety and some of the new stuff going on in the city with bicycle safety. So,
good morning, everyone. Scott Wadle from the Planning Department. I was the
Can you spell your last name for us, please?
sure last name Wadle, W-A-D-L-E. And I assisted with the management of the Bicycle Master Plan development process. And I was asked to come here this morning to provide you with some general tips as far as road safety relates to people on bicycles and people driving motor vehicles. And we want to encourage folks who are driving on the roads to constantly be aware of their surroundings and the conditions, and to make sure that they provide adequate room when passing bicyclists on the roadway. We also want to encourage people riding bicycles out on the streets to be visible, as we've talked about earlier with the requirements for reflectors and lights. So do what you can to be visible and also be predictable. So signal, appropriate turns, etc. And those are some general tips in terms of safety for everyone who's out there using the roads.
Do you recommend riders to wear reflective gear whenever natural lighting is going to be limited, like towards sunset or after dark?
I would say doing what you can to make sure to increase your visibility certainly benefits you.
Do you know if there's any kind of a law that you have to wear a helmet?
We do not have a helmet. There's not a requirement or a law requiring that you wear a helmet at this time.
Is it recommended?
Yeah, certainly.
What is on the books? What are the requirements if you're to ride a bike out on the streets or at night especially? Or is it all just suggestions?
No, there are requirements. You can find those in the municipal code and also in the Kansas statutes. As far as what we require here in the city of Wichita, your bike has to have brakes. There are requirements regarding lighting and reflectors at night. Also requirements in terms of how you ride on the street. You're supposed to operate similar to a motor vehicle in terms of turning movements, stopping, obeying traffic control devices, those kind of things.